And thank you for listening and watching the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. I am your host, Max Trujillo, and today, well, it's game time. Sports is back, thank God. Fall is upon us. There's 162 professional games of baseball, but let's be honest, we only really care once it gets down to the very end. So with that, we're talking food, of course, because we're the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast, but we're also mingling in some sports inside of it, because what do you eat when you're at the ballpark? Well, we're going to find out what's being served out there in a local area of Holly Springs, just outside of downtown Raleigh. And we're talking with Sideline Snacks, and more specifically, Gio Mantovani.
Very nice, very nice.
Gio Mantovani, the owner of Sideline Snacks. Hello, Gio. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, man. And you're here because old friend of the show with that great laugh. No, it's not the penguin.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, but we're talking about you'll know him from many episodes we've had on here, like John G. When we went down to Peachland, and you just completely blew my mind about all that. And then even some you helped produce some of the Jess Sims stuff that we did out there in Charlotte. That was really fun. Anyhow, we're talking with Kyle Sutton. Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me back, Max. Always a good time to be here.
Dude, it's always great to have you here. And you made me aware of Sideline Snacks and kind of letting me know what's going on. So maybe, because you seem to know a little bit more, introduce Gio to us so that we really get it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll share the story of how Gio and I got to be friends. So I think my wife and I own a bakery, Bestow Baked Goods, out in Holly Springs. We've been on the show at least once. And then a few weeks back, I saw Gio's wife and partner, Emily, posting about a new business in Holly Springs. I think it's a really innovative model. Gio's kind of a serial entrepreneur, saw some opportunity in that the concession stands inside of Womble Park were just kind of sitting dormant. He said, hey, we've got a great captive audience here for, sports and moms at the park. Let's revitalize the concession stand and not just do, hot dogs, pretzels, stuff we can get off of a truck. Let's partner with, local restaurants inside of the concession stand. So that's kind of, cool idea one. And Gio's going to come in and give this thing more color. But, the phase two vision is, as people are coming for events, you're here all day for soccer, you're not stopping off anywhere else for dinner, right? Or you're not cooking dinner. You're probably stopping off at Chick-fil-A, you're grabbing a slice somewhere, whatever. What if you go home with dinner made by a local restaurant or local craftsman? And so that's kind of the phase two. That's my 10,000-foot view of Sideline Snacks. But Gio, tell me what I got wrong in that. I'm sure there are many things.
No, I don't think you got anything wrong. That's a very very strong review there. But yeah, that's really kind of how this came about. So my wife and I have 3 kids. We live in Holly Springs. We've lived there for about 5 years. And we spend a lot of time at Womble Park in Holly Springs, for those that are familiar with it. And in all the years we've been going there, all the days we've spent there, we have never, ever seen the concession stand open. And there are 2 concession stands. There's one at the baseball complex where there are 4 baseball fields. And then there's one by the soccer fields where there's several fields at the park there, and we've never seen it open. We play some travel baseball. We've been to other events at other towns where the concession stands are always open, and sort of kind of got me thinking, well, why is this never open? And to your point there, I'm beginning to be a bit of a serial entrepreneur and saw the opportunity. And I work with the town of Holly Springs in a small capacity with vending machines. I have several vending machine routes in Holly Springs and other places. And I just sort of approached them and said, hey, what's going on with the concession stands? And for lack of a better term, they just weren't being ran. And I said, well, can I get in there? Can I run it? And they put out an RFP and went through that process, and they awarded it to me, and here we are. So that's kind of the backstory on how we got in there.
So paint the picture of let's talk about the stadium and for one, who's the team?
Well, it's a lot of teams.
It's a lot of teams. I mean, isn't there a baseball team our local pro team?
There is. So there's the Holly Springs Salamanders, which that's at Ting Park, which is maybe 2 or 3 miles down the road, and they have a full-on concession stand in there. So,
Okay.
So this is not that park. This is a town park.
Right.
So the teams it's certainly used for Holly Springs Park and Rec. So baseball, softball, soccer. But then there are also like Wake FC, the kind of the club soccer team in Wake County. They also use that field there as well. And then the turf field for the soccer, it's a huge field. So there's a lot of other teams that use it as sort of their home ground for practicing in games and tournaments, things like that. So
very cool.
So it truly is local, Holly Springs Parks and Recs.
Yeah, and I take it your kids belong to the sporting programs, or
So my middle son plays in Wake FC, so he's there 2 or 3 days a week. Both of my sons had played. I coached in Holly Springs Parks and Rec on the baseball team. My daughter does dancing and acting and singing and all other things, theater.
Nice.
So she's not there, although she likes to run around and sing there. But yeah, so we spend a ton of time there. There's a great park there as well. So even outside of sports, we're there in the batting cages. We're there at the park. So we spend a ton of time there.
that's cool. There's you were talking to me, Kyle. You mentioned to me that, like, for instance, you'll have somewhat like relatively well-known, smaller, independent businesses that will come in and provide food. You were talking like Raleigh Tamales or something, right?
Tamales, of course, Bestow Baked Goods. Who else? There's some pizza there. Who else?
Yeah, Mama Mia's Pizza in Holly Springs, Mama Bird's. All the mamas get me. I call Raleigh Tamale Mama Tamale sometimes because I get on this track there. But so we sort of got to there because it's almost a byproduct of the stand. So we are not. It's not set up in a concession stand in a manner where we can prepare our own food. So I can't get in there and believe me, if I could, I would make pasta and do all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So,
I'm seeing you already brought us a pistachio pesto that you brought, and you made this yourself.
I did, yes. That is, and that's another business we'll get into, but that's Gio's pistachio pesto, and we can certainly revisit that.
We'll talk about that, yeah.
But yeah, so really out of necessity, because I can do things like pretzels, popcorn, I can, candy, drinks, those sorts of things. But, I didn't want to do just that. I love Holly Springs, and I believe in the community and doing what I can as a citizen of the community to support it.
Yeah.
And that includes, really, having the back of small businesses. So, I can't make my own food. I don't really necessarily want to make my own food anyway. So what better opportunity than to, use some of the great food resources we already have in Holly Springs. People know who they are. People love their stuff. And, I look at it as an opportunity to serve what people know, serve local things, but also like bring it together. So like if you want Mamma Mia's pizza and you want a chunky monkey muffin from Bestow Bakery, that's 2 trips, 2 separate sides of town. It's like, well, here's an opportunity to be watching your kid play soccer or baseball, and you can get both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
And
you can be a sports fan and a foodie at the same time.
That's right. Yeah. And it's not just let me throw this from the freezer into the microwave and cook it. It's, you're getting good stuff.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what the vision was, and very recently, became what it is. So.
Well, and I love the intentionality behind partnering with local business, because the thing I notice about Holly Springs, like for small business, it can be a bit of a tough market, right? You see a lot of what opens up is largely like chains.
Sure.
Right? Because, the idea of I'm making, doing a brick and mortar, it's a deep 6-7 figure investment on occasion. Not always accessible to a lot of, kind of like mom and pop startups.
Sure.
So to say, like, one, we're going to kind of join that community, but then also kind of intentionally partner with those businesses, I think it's a phenomenal concept, man. So kudos on taking those steps, man.
Yeah, I think that's an important part to me also, the ability to kind of keep it in Holly Springs. And it's not like if you're not in Holly Springs and you have a great product, I'm not going to serve it in the stand.
Sure.
But the idea was like, there's, to your point, there's a ton of good stuff in Holly Springs that is local, that people already know and love. So there's no need to really go too far out or to try to bring in the big places that everybody in the country knows. It was let's keep it local. It's it's good for me. It's good for you. And I think ultimately it's good for the people that are there, eating the stuff and watching the games.
It reminds me a little bit, and locals here in Raleigh might know what I'm talking about, but Pullen Park has, for a long time, they had, they had like what a normal concession stand would be. It's, like chicken nuggets, deep fried this, deep fried that, hot dogs, whatever. Essentially not really good food, but just simple, easy food. And a friend of the show, one of the first sponsors of this podcast was Cure Eat, and that was created by Steve Mangano. And Steve Mangano and a team led the charge to change the nutritional value of the food being provided at Pullen Park. And since then, they've been doing great. And they've kind of like revamped it and just kind of he like took ownership of it, and it reminds me of what you're doing, Gio. Maybe it's the Maganos and the Gios, like it's the Italians in us. What is with the Italians all just like coming in and caring so much about the health of food? I mean, food is a very important thing to the Italian culture. So
it certainly is, and it's funny. I always my grandfather, so my grandparents were from Italy on my father's side. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather, who passed away a month after I was born, so unfortunately I only know him through stories,
sure.
He was, my father and my uncles will talk about how if he were alive today, he would be the equivalent of one of these celebrity chef kind of guys.
Yeah.
And he, so my grandfather, when he moved here, moved to Brooklyn, and he worked in New York City at several restaurants, and he would sort of like in those days, so he came here in 1928, so this is a long, long time ago. But he would sort of hop around different restaurants in New York City, and he's Giovanni Mantovani, and Giovanni Mantovani cooking here tonight, and they'd be cooking here over another night.
Yeah, so he was a big deal.
In those days he was a big deal, and my father never really cooked. My father worked his butt off for a long, long time, and I remember as he got older, he started cooking, and then I started having like an interest in cooking, and I went to college for one semester after high school, and I went for hotel restaurant management because I always thought I wanted to open a restaurant and work in a restaurant, and I worked in restaurants, but certainly never had my own. But I think this is also, like the inner me that always wanted to be in the food business somehow. I mean, I don't really, I cook, I enjoy cooking, but I don't have I'm not trained or anything like that, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
So this is sort of my attempt or my way of being in the business without kind of, being in the business in that sense.
I got you.
So
yeah, I mean, I'm not a chef, but I'm as deep into the food and beverage culture as you can get, and without literally cooking on the line. Although I've done that at times,
Sure.
Somebody didn't show up. Oh, Max is on garde manger.
It's management, man. It's management.
Yeah. And so I was, even before you even mentioned it, I was going to assume that maybe you were from New York or in that area.
Yeah.
You got the New York vibes coming off.
Yep.
So how long have you been out here in Holly Springs?
So I was born in Brooklyn. I lived there till I was about 6. Then I moved to northern New Jersey, in Bergen County, which is mostly where I grew up. And then you fast forward a bit. I joined the Army in 2009, and then came down to Fort Bragg. So I was here from 2009 to 2016. Met my wife in that process, had my first child. We moved back to New Jersey, and then actually we loved North Carolina. And after a couple of years in New Jersey, we knew we wanted to get back. So once we were pregnant, I have 3 kids. So when my wife was pregnant with our third, we were just sort of like, all right, we got to get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
And this is, we came down in December of 19. So you're talking like, right before COVID, and we got, we were very, very lucky to get down here when we did. And then that's when we came back to Holly Springs.
It's a total sidebar, but 3 different podcasts I've listened to this week have noted that New Jersey is the black bear capital of the world, of the country. Like,
didn't know that.
there are more black bears per capita than any other state in the union. So I figured this will just be the other podcast that says that stupid fact.
Okay.
But isn't that weird? Like,
I had no idea. I would have never known that.
yeah, it's very rural and beautiful outside of the big cities in Jersey.
Yeah.
But most people just kind of associate it with just like Sopranos.
Yeah, I would have never have known that about the Bears.
Yeah, the Garden State, right?
Yeah, who knew?
Okay, so you're out here. What do you do for yourself? Like, what got you to the point where you were like, you know what? Let's start doing this other stuff. Like, you usually need to be gainfully employed to make that jump.
And I think I'm probably, it's safe to say, overly employed. I have, I've also, in addition to always sort of wanting to be in the restaurant business, I've always wanted to have my own business. And, I sort of did things a bit backwards. Like I said, I went to high school, I went to college for a semester, dropped out, just wasn't for me. I wasn't ready. Went to the Army, got out of the Army, and then I went to school. And then started working. Then we came down to North Carolina, and I was part of a financial technology startup for about 3 years, and I was very, very early employee in the company, and it was my first taste of the really like the startup world, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's kind of a long story at the end, to get to the end of it, but wound up after 3 years sort of leaving and then going back to a much larger company that I work at now, who I previously worked for. But I work in the data center space is my day-to-day job. And
it's not uncommon to the area, I imagine.
No.
Both Cary, Apex, leading up to RTP, that's just like what one does in this area.
Yeah, and ironically, so my client is mostly based in London. So, but we manage their data centers all over the world. So, so that's my day job. But ever since I sort of left that startup, I have a million ideas, right? And there's no shortage of ideas.
Nice.
But there's a difference between ideas and like actionable ideas, and that's where my wife is very valuable, because she's like, okay, are you done talking about that now? Like, do you feel better? Like, can we go back to something else? And I've recently been interested in buying businesses, and earlier in this year, my wife and I bought our first business that I've been running on the side, in addition to doing my day job, and then that sort of got me into this, like, okay, like this is where I want to be going. I feel like it's a weird thing to say, but the older I get, I feel like the more difficult I am to work with, because like. I mean it, I think, in a good way, but like I have high expectations of myself, and not a lot of people, I don't think people have as high expectations of themselves sometimes, and the older I get, I think the more I just want people to work the same way I work, and whether that's good or bad, I don't know, but I like to do things a certain way. I like to work hard. I like to respond to emails right away. I like to get things done.
Yeah.
I am very proactive. And
let me ask you a question. How many unread text messages do you have on your phone?
well, I mean, only because my phone's over there, I may have a couple, but I mean, zero.
Walking into this room, it was zero. Yeah, me too.
Zero unread emails,
Yeah.
no missed phone calls, nothing.
Yeah. Look at this, folks. Oh yeah, I have 4 emails and 1 unread text, and that's just because that's what happened when we started.
This time. Yep.
Yeah, you and I
don't like any notifications on my phone. They have to go away. If sometimes those notifications get stuck on your phone, I'll delete an app if I can't get rid of the notification, because I can't have that like chew on there.
You and I are cut from the same cloth, my friend. Kyle, what say you?
Yeah, I don't even care, man. I've got, let's see.
I don't want to hear
I
it.
think
Don't
I've
tell
seen
me.
a screenshot,
Don't tell me.
and I saw thousands of unread emails on your phone.
So it's 122,000.
Oh my!
Okay, but here's the thing. I've had the same email address since like, 07 or something.
Yeah, so
Been
do I.
all kinds of data breaches. So like my spam's out of control, right? And then on the phone side, text messages, 297. Now, rarely from people.
It gives me agita right now.
I know.
just thinking about that.
Okay. Do I want to read the text from Whole Foods that says my order is ready for pickup? Like, I know it.
Yeah, but then
Get rid
how
of
do
it.
you know the difference between things you need to look through?
Because
And
like I have my top conversation. I'm in 5 conversations I care about. Like our thread, spouse, and then somebody I know. Like it's there. Like I'm not like I don't have any unread messages from people that I'm actively talking to them.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife, if I pick up my wife's phone and I get, agito to the moon, she's got, I think she's at the point where, and I love you, Emily, I think she's at 99,999. Like, I don't know if the numbers can go any higher.
I can't roll over.
Yeah, she's got
go back to
640 voicemails. Like, yeah, I can't.
How do people do this?
I can't do it.
Listeners, you're looking at yourself right now and you identify with at least one of the two of us.
Yeah.
One of you is wrong, by the way.
Yeah,
one of you is wrong. The other one is correct.
It's not us.
It's clearly not us.
I'm open to being wrong. I've got a system. It's okay. So,
sorry.
no, so I'm curious. So tell me how you arrived at the concession stand idea, because I feel like a lot of people, and again, total love and respect to my colleagues in the restaurant game, but we see a lot of people in the space that start from love of craft, right, and never get the business side, and they unfortunately really struggle.
Sure.
I feel like your journey, and if I'm reading it wrong, tell me. I feel like your journey was the inverse. I feel like you're starting from the business side.
Yeah.
You're kind of moving into the food craft side. So tell me a bit about that. I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't come from food craft at all. I think I'm at a point now where I'm looking at things, pretty much everything from a business perspective. So, when I went back to college, my undergrad is in business management, and I have an MBA with a finance concentration, and then a second master's in accounting. And that's always sort of where I wanted to be in the business world, in the finance world, but I never really got there. And so that's sort of educationally what some of my background is. But, my style of learning is on a hands-on kind of a thing. And so I look at it from a business perspective and I say, okay, I see how many people are at this park doing sports and this thing is not open. That is a business opportunity. And then, so I look at it from that perspective. And, I've got the vending machine stuff, which was my real first, and that's small stuff. That's just me. But that was my first sort of crack at running a business myself, and it's pretty simple. Day to day, it's I don't day to day. There's not much that goes on.
Do you work with Vistar?
No, I don't. No, I don't get my stuff from Bestow. I know I am familiar with who they are. Yes,
it's a subsidiary of my company.
Oh, is it
Really?
Yeah.
In Greensboro, I think. Right? I think they have. I know they deliver also, but yeah, no. There's a guy I've talked to a couple of times there. I guess an account executive kind of a guy. But, I don't know if I am at that level of their minimum order just yet.
Got it.
Where it makes sense for me from a storage perspective. But
yeah.
If things continue to grow the way I would like, then yeah, I'll stop going to these wholesale clubs myself. And
we got one, folks. Bing, bing, bing. Just kidding. All right, here we go. So, how did you even get into the idea? I've known people that have done the vending machine game. People don't even realize that it's independent owners of these things. A lot of times they assume that it's the building owner of wherever it lies, but it's no, it's just subcontract out all these vending machines because there's maintenance to it. You got to keep them stocked. You got to take the money out. You got to service them and do all that. Make sure kids don't get flattened by them. I like those warning signs.
Don't rock it.
Don't rock it. You will die. But how many people have died at your vending machines so far?
Well, this year none.
7, 8.
Yeah, no, we're doing good this year. Yeah, it's been 47 days since the last accident. I got one of those billboards. Yeah.
That's good. But so was this a hot tip from a buddy of yours? How does one decide? I'm going to buy some vending machines and make some money there.
So I mean, Facebook's a crazy place, and my wife and I were, my wife and I both have, when I big time's not the right word, but we both have heavy corporate jobs.
Yeah.
And, we, I guess I can say, so my wife is a doctor of pharmacy. She went to Campbell University, got her PharmD from there.
Oh, wow. Okay. She's
a very, very smart cookie. And so she is, aside from the tremendous amount of student debt that we have, student loan debt, she is in a fantastic career. So she works as a clinical research scientist. She's got a great job, a great career. She is an incredible worker. But we both recognize that we are, like most people, we are extremely reliant on our job, which is, we have very little control over what may happen at our jobs, right?
Yeah.
So the last few years, we've sort of grown interested in the idea of having our own stuff, and we have a couple of investment properties that we rent out in Harnett County. And so that was like the first thing that we did. And then it was like, okay, well, what else can we do? That's sort of, low risk, low entry money wise.
Yeah.
So I feel like the last few years, vending has become like a big business thing. Like, oh, do vending. And you see the people like, I make 6 figures a month on vending. Like, those are some people that are out there. That's obviously the few and far between. But so we sort of got the idea of like, well, look, let's buy a couple of routes and buy a couple of machines and kind of see how it goes. I had some flexibility to be able to run them, and that's kind of how we got started in that. And so that you fast forward a bit, and we had started reaching out to the town of Holly Springs to put some vending machines in a couple of their buildings, and that's what kind of got me, involved in the town. And so I've got 6 right now in the town of Holly Springs. And then, through the same Parks and Rec department, that's how the conversation started around the concession stand.
And let it be known for the listeners that his vending machines are only condom and cigarette vending machines.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Hot
Specifically.
Holly Springs.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, everybody. Are they? I mean, we don't have to go too deep into vending machines, but are they like? Does it coincide with any of like kind of the healthier ideas, or are these just typical like a soda machine?
What's funny is everybody always wants healthy options in vending machines.
Not really, but yeah.
Nobody ever buys them. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, again, if you're familiar with Holly Springs, the Hunt Center is like the rec center. So it's like the town gym,
Yeah.
They do a lot of classes in there. There's a lot of senior citizen classes in there. They do town basketball in there, things like that. So when I was first getting the machines in there, they were stressing like, hey, we want to make sure that we have healthy options in the machines. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Just so you know, like, no one is going to buy them. And so I put protein shakes in. I put some lighter, baked chips and beef jerky and protein bars. And typically with vending, you can't do it for like 3 days and be like, well, none of this stuff is selling. Like, it's a learned behavior. People don't, there's no vending machine there today. People don't expect like, oh, maybe tomorrow there'll be a vending machine. So it's a new behavior. People have to learn that, oh, I can buy a snack here or things like that. So you got to give it a month, 45 days before you can. But, after a month, I was sort of like, well, none of this healthy stuff is selling. So we're going with the Sour Patch Kids and the Hershey bars and the M&Ms. And that's the stuff that everybody wants.
Yeah, my daughter Charlotte would love you for this. But like, she just found out that there was a vending machine in my apartment complex. And like, this has kind of taken over a portion of her life. Like, she's like, Dad, you know that they have like the chips that I like down there. And if we're just sitting on the couch and she wants a snack and I don't have that snack, she's like, can I get a couple bucks? Yeah. I'm like, what? She's like, oh, I'm just going to go down to like the thing and go get some snacks in the vending machine. I'm like, go knock yourself out. Sure. Why not? But it's like hilarious that she's like all into it now.
So what I take from this, you got to like up your grocery snack.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
I not only have a new BJ's membership, but I didn't realize that I had a Costco membership this whole time. I thought we got rid of it like a year ago, but apparently it's there. So yes, now I am lousy with snacks at my house, like bulk snacks and good stuff. Good jerky. Yeah, you were mentioning. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have some good jerky.
Yeah. So okay, how is this working? I mean, obviously you're doing this as an entrepreneurial side, and I'm not afraid of asking this question because Lord knows everybody asked me this question when I started podcasting. How do you make money?
Yeah.
And no one seemed to be upset or feel any shame by asking me directly when I started podcasting. So how do you make money doing this?
Sure.
Like, they just ask boldly, and I'm like, I guess that's where we're at now. So you can just ask somebody like, how much do you make? What do you do? How are you doing here?
Does it strike you as an unreasonable question?
Nowadays it doesn't. I think it felt a little bit more invasive at the time.
See, if I were to ask that though, like, or even you, Gio, like, I think we're like business nerds.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what's the mechanism by which this thing pays its own rent?
Well, that's
It'd be a different thing to say like, okay, like, hey, check out your W-2.
Show me the books.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I'm like, yes, okay. Anyway, that's for you. Continue.
Yeah. So with that said, I mean, obviously, like the vending machines have like I know how you make the money off of it because there's money being put into the machine, and you buy product and you take the profit off of whatever you set the prices at. So how does this work with Sideline Snacks? How are you able to? make a
Yeah,
buck.
I mean, fundamentally, it's almost the same model as vending. Like I'm buying, the drinks and the snacks, and I'm buying from the vendors at retail wholesale pricing, and selling it for
market.
more. Yeah,
Yeah. So are you buying? Because I haven't. I'm gonna have to go now and check these out. Go to a game just to see how it works. But are you buying like a pre-selected amount of a like product A, like Raleigh tamales? Like you buy 50 tamales, let's say, or are they on site? Like, are you taking them and they're not there, and you're representing their food?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, we kind of have there's sort of two ways this works. So both stands being the baseball facility and the soccer facility, are open Monday through Saturday, and then the soccer stand is also open on Sunday. So essentially, the way that we've figured this out is Monday through Friday at the soccer field, it's practices only. Whether it's Holly Springs Parks and Rec practicing or it's Wake FC, it's just used for practices. And then on Saturday is when Holly Springs Parks and Rec does all their games. And that's when all the people come out, right? Because grandma and grandpa and your brother and your sister, and no one, maybe mom and dad are both they're not working on Saturday.
Yeah.
So the whole family's coming out to the games. And then Sunday, Wake FC tends to play their games at the park as well. Inversely, at the baseball field, Monday through Friday is when there are baseball games and softball games, and then Saturday is just practices. So we kind of have two menus. So during the week at the baseball field is where we're serving what I would call dinner. So every night we're having like a different featured restaurant for that night. And what we do is we coordinate essentially delivery with them. For example, on tonight we're doing pizza. So Mamma Mia's delivered, X amount of pizza to the stand, and we've got them in the Cambro warmers, and we've got warming draws,
Which are magical, by the way. Like they stay hot all day long.
They are. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And so at the soccer field, at the baseball field, we're serving all the typical pretzels, popcorn, ice cream, and stuff, but there's also pizza. Tuesdays, we're doing Tamale Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we're partnered with a deli in Apex, Fratelli's Deli. We're doing Witch Wednesday. My wife gets the credit for that one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sandwich, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then Friday we do pizza again, and then Thursday we're figuring out Thursday still, but we'll get there. So that's what we do Monday through Friday, and then Saturday is really the big day. So Saturday we partner with Raleigh Tamales for breakfast, their breakfast burritos, their quiche.
Yum.
And then we do more pizza, and then that's also the big day for the bakery, for Bestow Bakery as well. So yeah. So basically, it is certainly it's a game figuring out how much do I order, because the first week I totally overshot what I thought we would sell, so I bought so much pizza. And I was, my poor kids, I was like, we're eating pizza again, guys. Like, I don't care if you want to or not. Like, it's pizza again for breakfast and lunch and for dinner. So, there's definitely, I think that's true about the food business, no matter where you are, is like that ordering is really, one of the most important aspects of it.
Well, and consistency is key too, because I think like people are like, "Oh, dude, I love going on Tuesdays, get those tamales." Like,
that's right.
You want to know that that's coming. I mean, Kyle, you and I, we did some business at Y Hill in the beginning when we first opened up with Bestow Baked Goods, and that was cool, man. That was like, it was a lot of coordination, and it took like us to, communicate pretty often to make sure that it worked, but it worked. And when we first opened up that brewery, we had a little refrigerator in like the lobby area. Now it's filled with, just beer, because they're crushing it. But it was like, could we bring in a couple of really nice cupcakes and moon pies, and oh my god, what is that? Not moon pies. What?
The oatmeal cream pie.
Oh yeah.
Oh my. Yeah. Oh. Why didn't you bring one of those today with you? What the hell? What good are you?
I know. And it's a Monday, man. We're closed.
Oh my god. Seriously, listeners, it's the greatest dessert I think I've ever had. It's creamy, crispy, salty, sweet. It's all the things you want, and just it's divine. It's like a warm now I'm going to decel it when I say it this way. It's like a warm ice cream sandwich.
Okay, yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
So it's like it's a grown up version of like your childhood favorite, right? It's two soft oatmeal cookies, in the middle vanilla buttercream, and so like our style of buttercream is a hybrid. It's an American style plus an Italian style, so it's like shelf stable but not overly sweet. Same thing we use in wedding cakes, cupcakes, the whole bit. And yeah, it's a good moon pie. The food influencers in Holly Springs is a Facebook group called the Ladies of Holly Springs. And so
that's the group you need right now.
You need them on your side.
Careful
don't
with them.
Anger them. Don't ever anger them.
Whatever they say goes.
They made it a big deal our first summer, and it's still a thing today.
That's pretty cool, though. Yeah, it is, by the way, like the power of Facebook. Everyone says like, oh, it's for like old people, whatever. I just got a free TV the other day, and I also gave like some friends some other stuff. Like there's so much that's happening on Facebook all the time. It's like, it's not going anywhere.
Well, look, I think it's part of any business is to know, like, number one, what your audience demographics are, and then to know where they hang out.
Yeah.
If you're selling to adults like mid-30s and up, like they hang out on Facebook, right? If my business hinged on like high school age, like, young men and women, it's a different play.
Totally. Yeah.
But, targeting families, man, there's opportunity on Facebook, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
I picked up a Snapchat account because my daughters have Snapchat, and then any like female that was my age heard that I had a Snapchat, and they're like, "Hey, creep, what are you doing on Snapchat?" I'm like, "I'm literally just communicating with my daughters." They're like, "That's for children. You should not be on it." So I ended up deleting my account because I felt creepy. But yeah, whatever. I can just text my daughters. That works fine. So how do we expand this? What do you? So you didn't. Well, I mean, you kind of got into it, but like on the finance side, has it reaped some benefit? Like, is it a viable business for you?
For sure, yeah. So it's obviously it's seasonal, right? So this season will really be. So we opened it. Our first day was August 18th. So it'll be open kind of in line with what the sports schedule is. So my thought is this will probably run through maybe the week before Thanksgiving, and then. The bigger picture may change this, but the thought is we'll close down, Thanksgiving, through December, through January, and then, maybe middle February, in line with when the spring sports season starts, open it up again and have it run really through the end of the school year. But in terms of how it's doing, I mean, the first week was a little bit slow, but again, it's really just so much about that learned behavior. I mean, if you've been going to that park, you don't even look at that place because it might as well not be there because it's not open. So now all of a sudden it's like, it's a thing. And then I think what's happening now is people are catching on that it's not just a thing. They've got good stuff there because people, they walk up to the window and again my wife does all. I'm proud to say this. I've never had an Instagram account in my life. I don't know the first thing about Instagram.
Whoa!
So my wife does all of it, and she has been killing it with all of her posts and the cross. Marketing with
engagement.
Engagement. Excuse me. Yes, with our partners has been very, very helpful. And Mama Birds has a tremendous Instagram following. So
imprint. Yes.
So being able to imprint. Sorry, if that's the official word. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just making it up.
What are you talking about?
Just doing social media talk. I don't know.
It sounds good.
Sounded like I knew what I was talking about. Yeah.
But so that's really helped. But it's been very, very busy. The first couple weeks, I was very overstaffed because my logic was, I certainly can't be there every day. Those hours that were open 4 to 7:30, I've got sports and stuff with my kids, and so I can't be there. So I really had to double up on the staff so that everybody was getting chances to work multiple shifts, so that they were comfortable with opening and closing and using the iPad and all that stuff. So, so now that we're past that, and I'm not paying double the employees, and word is spreading. I mean, it's been. It's certainly to this point succeeded what I thought it would do for it being 3 weeks old, 4 weeks old at this point.
It sounds pretty cool, man. It sounds inventive, different. You're not reinventing the wheel, but you're bringing that wheel to a place where there once wasn't.
Yeah, I think I'm combining wheels.
Yeah.
Is kind of what it is. I'm making like a motorcycle tire, like a monster truck tire. That's like kind of what I'm trying to do.
And to many of my friends who, let's get into this because it's controversial a little bit, but you mentioned it earlier. But to my friends that end up spending their entire freaking weekend because of travel ball.
Yes.
Which is a total scam, by the way, and we all buy into it. Not we all, I don't, but you did.
It's gonna. My son's gonna play Major League Baseball. It's gonna happen.
that's the carrot that dangles in front.
They guaranteed me he would. So I mean,
I did compare it to like this is like what an evangelical like monster church, like mega church does. Yep. It's the same thing. It's like if you give us money, you'll get in good with God and all that stuff. And I'm like, it's kind of like if you give us money, your son or daughter will become a professional athlete.
See, like, here's the thing. The Protestant churches never sold indulgences. Like, the Catholic Church kind of had that one on lock. I'm just saying.
Well, the Baptists did it that way, too. And, like, down in the South, come on, that's where all of the big churches, the mega churches kind of, they did whatever they want. I watched Righteous Gemstones.
Okay.
That's a documentary, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Attenborough.
Yeah. So, I mean, the nice thing is, and I think it's what Gio, what you're capitalizing on is you have a what's the audience? What do you call it?
A captive audience.
A captive audience. Yeah, for many times like 5-6 hours of a Saturday afternoon. Yeah. And what do we got to do? Let's feed them. And I've got the food.
Yeah. I mean, one of my close friends in our neighborhood, he's got 4 daughters. All 4 of them play soccer. I mean, so he's there. I mean, because sometimes it's like one is at 9 o'clock and then the other's at 11 o'clock. Like, what are you going to do? You're not going to go home. And then, you one's at 9, they're done at 10. The next one starts at 11. You're not going to go home for that hour. So you just wind up staying there. And there are plenty of people that have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 kids that are doing this, and they're spending their whole day there. You don't want to leave. You don't want to lose your parking spot because maybe you got a primo spot when you came the first time. So now we're just encouraging people to stay and hang out. And I mean, even just Sunday, I put a little TV out. So, on Saturdays, we'll have soccer playing in the mornings. We'll have college football playing. And then Sunday we have NFL football playing. So
that's cool.
Just to sort of like, create that, that again, in my mind, this like cafe kind of environment where it's, I'm just missing the old guys playing Scopa cards and, watching the Italian soccer. That's all I'm missing right now. But
well, if you could also sell like on the sly a bunch of tumblers filled with like margaritas or so and pass them off as coffee because then you'd fit right in there with every mom that I know that goes to these games. Oh, I'm just having a cold brew. I'm like, why does your breath smell like my uncle right now?
Linda. Like,
9:30 in the morning.
Look, we joke, but I'm actually quite bullish on the concept, right? I think it's brilliant. Like a few reasons, right? So if you think about kind of this idea of like experience, right? When you're in a place that's unusual, when you're in a place that's hard to navigate, there are things that are common in other contexts that become luxuries.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you're at an NBA game, you're gonna drop $30 for a Papa John's pie. Right, you wouldn't pay $8 for a Papa John's pie in your private life, but $30, like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Delta just added for their first class meal service
Shake Shack
burgers.
Yeah.
Right, and in the air, like, okay, like Shake Shack makes a good burger. Would I choose over other things? Like maybe so, maybe no. But in the air at 30,000 feet, Shake Shack is freaking gold.
Yeah,
right. It's a big.
How often
deal.
are you flying first class?
I mean, you fly enough. You do, whatever. Here's the other cool part, though, right? Kind of related to that, right? I said to Gio, like, Shake Shack, little known fact, actually started as a hot dog cart.
I know.
Across from a museum. Yeah, so like.
Did you learn this by listening to the North Carolina Food and Beverage podcast? Because CEO Randy Garuti, who has retired since, told us the whole story on this show.
No, I didn't. I'm a Danny Meyer nerd and a Will Guidara nerd. So like both of their books kind of like.
Hell yeah.
No, I missed that episode, but I'll go back and find it.
Yeah, how dare you? But yeah, you could have learned it on our episode. But that was a funny thing because right across the street from Union. Union Square Cafe.
Commissary, one of their. Yeah, I think the commissary might have been EMP. Or
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it might have been in front of EMP.
Yeah.
Well, they're right now. Tabla and EMP were next door to each other, like when Floyd Cardozo was there. But yeah, I think Danny was standing on the corner with Randy Garuti, who ultimately became the CEO of Shake Shack. But he was at the time just like I think the GM of like Union Square Cafe, and they just looked and he's like, "You see all these people just walking around?" He goes, "If we just put like it wasn't even a burger, or yeah, it was hot dog. That's right. Yeah. If we just put a hot dog cart in front of there, but we made them delicious, I wonder we'd probably do pretty well." And they just did it as like a goof, and it went insane. And they made so much money off of like the first weekend that then like Danny kind of looked at Randy and he's like, "Well, now you got to do this like every day forever." And then he took the concept with it and just said, "Screw it, let's add shakes. You know what? Maybe people want burgers. Let's do that." And then it just blossomed into what it is today, which is
public company. Yeah,
pretty amazing that it just happened from like a super fancy, like one of the fanciest restaurants in the country or the world.
At one point, yeah.
Yeah, that they're like, "Oh, let's also just serve hot dogs on the street," which And remember, Danny always says, if you're going to build a proper place, put it in front of something that will never change, such as a historical monument or a park or something that has certain significance with the city or the town. So he did it in front of what is the biggest park? Central Park. Jesus Christ, Max. In front of Central Park. So it's like, yeah, well, this will never change. So it's not like anyone's ever going to put something in front of me. I'll just keep it like that, and it worked out to his advantage. Okay, this is a new segment you guys were not prepared for, but I was going to do it in here. We'll even signify it with a sound effect. Here we go. Oh, look at that production.
Like that.
One more time. There it is. Everybody.
Drum machine over here.
You excited? Yeah, I'm going to Skrillex this whole thing.
I am. Let's do it. Do it.
It was blowing me away, and actually, this is kind of part of this idea of like what you were talking about earlier, Gio, about people don't really want all the healthy things. In the end, they just want Doritos and Coca-Cola in their snack machine and whatever. And so I picked up my daughters. We went to the doctor or something. I don't know, but we picked up the daughters and we were up there kind of like in a like sort of Wake Forest area. We're headed back home and they wanted to get frozen yogurt. We went to Sweet Frogs and, they guilted me into getting them, but we also like genuinely needed to have dinner. And I was like looking on my phone and I'm up there near Triangle Town Center and I'm like, what's available? And it was kind of late. It was like 9:00 but we were starving. Chili's, my friend. We went to Chili's. This new segment is, I don't know, we'll come up with the name of it, but it's chain restaurant review. There we go. I just made that up right now. And I only say this because normally I disparage like, P.F. Chang's. And by the way, P.F. Chang's, does anyone know why it's called P.F. Chang's? It's Peter Fleming's Chang's.
Did not know that.
If we're talking about like cultural appropriation and all, he's like, what's the most Chinese name I can think of? Oh, okay. And what's my initials? I'm this white guy that owns all these restaurants. I'm Peter Fleming. Let's call the restaurant P.F. Chang's.
Wow.
Do you know that, folks? Now you do.
I'm not their target.
Yeah. Well, I went to Chili's with my daughters and it was hilarious because I go, "Hey, girls, do you want to go to Chili's?" And they both went, they like lost their shit. They're like, yes. I totally want to go. I want to go so bad. And I was like, really? Like, is that a thing? They go, "Oh my God, I want to go so bad, Dad." I'm like, okay, we'll go to Chili's. And we went in there and I was so upset because everyone was so friendly and everyone served us like with amazing hospitality. And then the food came somewhat quick, but it was pretty damn good. And it was a pretty damn good value.
Yeah, for sure.
And we had like...
Did you get Paradise Pie?
No, we didn't do that. But
What was Paradise Pie? The Loop.
Oh, Paradise Pie is... I mean, I don't know if they still make it, but I mean, I remember going to Chili's with my friends as, teenagers. And like, I wouldn't get dinner. I would just get Paradise Pie every time. Okay. And it was just like blondie brownie with vanilla ice cream and so I mean, it was.
I've had that. I didn't know that's what it was called. But yeah,
So it was so good. It was so good.
All right, we'll send you home with some take and bakes, man. So you guys do that at your house at all times.
Perfect.
I'll set you up.
Yeah, deal.
Yeah, my high school at Chili's was just, I knew that all the hostesses were beautiful, so we would just hang out there in the lobby and like pretend like we needed a table, but really we were just hitting on the girls that worked there. So, but we went and like everything was way better than it was supposed to be, at least in my mind. And I was like, damn it, I guess this is why they succeed and why they have, whatever, how many 1,500 locations. I don't know. Oh, let's find out. Here, we'll do the chat GPT.
You can prompt ChatGPT via Siri.
Yeah, I got to get this on here. Let's figure it out right now. Hey, dude. Oh, by the way, my chat GPT guy sounds like Michael Cera because my daughter likes him. So Michael Cera is who's speaking to us now. How many Chili's locations are there in North America?
Absolutely. I can do the Michael Cera thing for you. So in that sort of vibe, I'll just let you know that Chili's has, I think, around like maybe 1,200 or so locations across North America. It's a lot, but that's the ballpark. Let me know if you need anything else.
It's like he's really talking to you.
Thanks, dude.
The affectations of Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
When was the last time you went to Chili's?
Oh, gosh.
Kyle, you're a foodie, so like, watch it. You might get your foodie card taken away.
If it's less than 10 years, you're
It's a long time, man. I can't recall.
Yeah, but Gio, it sounds like you just went recently to get that cake.
No, I don't know the last time. Definitely within, I would say, 2 or 3 years. I mean, I think my kids would like relish the opportunity to go to like a Chili's also. That's like it's an awesome experience.
And, and everything was like on the iPad. I mean, we did have a server and she was super attentive, but like when the bill came, I was like, oh, can we get our bill? She's like, oh, you can take care of it right there on the iPad. And I was like, oh, that's super simple. Okay. So it was like, it was good. And I was so mad that it was good because as independent business owners, as we all have been at times, and I say that because I'm not currently, like you try so hard to do what you're doing, but then you get this monolith like Darden or I think Chili's is Darden, right? Yeah. But whatever group that it is just comes in with their firepower and all that. But like in the end, it's not bad. I mean, the food is mediocre and it's not high quality, but if you're trying to entertain a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old, you're going to shoot and score. Like this is exactly what they wanted. So here we go. And that was the end of chain store review.
How about off the chain? Question mark.
Off the chain.
Question mark.
There it is.
You got to say.
Wait. We should unpack this, right? Because I know, Gio, you've mentioned that you're a big like wood fire pizza guy, right?
Yeah.
Doing particularly Neapolitan style pizza.
That's right. Yep.
In your home.
That's right.
Very excited about that.
Yeah.
Right. Because pizza is my nemesis. I do phenomenal barbecue, mediocre pizza. Pizza in your home. Do your kids love your pizza, or is it like, hey, do we want to go out and order like the commercial big box pie?
Yeah, it's both. Like my daughter, who just had her 10th birthday on Friday, she does an amazing job of like, my pizza is the best in the world.
Yeah,
but pause for effect. Can we get Domino's or like Papa John's tonight? And it's like, and she knows it breaks my heart every time. But I can't make pizza every night, right? It's a process. If I don't have dough made, like so I can't make it just like, oh, we want pizza tonight. I can't do that. So
use some double zero Caputo. What do you use?
Caputo, yeah, 00.
Yeah, of course. What's your oven?
I have a rock box
made by Gosney, right?
Made by Gosney.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
Yeah, they're great. I've had this for probably 5 years now.
It gets up to what, like 800?
No, I think the odometer, the temperature, the temperature goes up to I think 950 or something like that. But yeah, if you leave that thing on if you leave it turned up all the way, and I have it hooked up to propane, I don't have it the wood attachment, but you leave it on for like an hour and 20 minutes, that thing will be all the way up to 935, 950. No
crazy.
problem.
You're firing a pie in like what, a minute?
Yeah. So it depends if I'm doing a sauce pie, not a pesto pie. It's like, it's 40 seconds. I mean, yeah, it's hot. It's real hot in there.
Does like everyone that live in Holly Springs, like, are you just all like high craft people?
I have an uni. I mean, there are a lot of pizza ovens.
Yeah, because you, Kyle, are an exceptional home. To call you a home cook is like that's such an understatement. Like,
Accurate is what it is.
it's accurate because you're cooking at home, but like, but I mean, just so everyone knows, when Kyle opens his garage door to his house, there are like industrial refrigerators and freezers in there, and it's far more than just like the average
Garage fridge.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like pro kitchen, and you just even recently told me that because you tend to do this anytime there's a birth or like a significant thing that happens into a family, a friend of the family. And I think we just talked like 2 weeks ago, and you said, "Oh yeah, I'm in the middle of making a birth brisket." Is that correct?
Yeah, it's the baby briskets.
The baby brisket. Yeah.
If my circle and you have a child, I will come to your home with briskets and trimmings. So yeah, shout out to our friend Eric Ginsberg on his new addition in the past.
Former guest of the show. Yeah.
Yeah, guest of the show, friend of the show,
Yeah.
food right in the area. Yeah, it's a thing.
That's
It's
awesome.
South, right? So our response is the same for everything. Like good news, covered dish, birth, covered dish, death, covered dish. This is what you do as a Southerner.
Yeah, you did that calling back to when we talked about Y Hill in like establishing this like new, partnership that we had where we were buying your desserts and selling them at the restaurant. As a thank you, you just brought the staff a couple sheet pans of mac and cheese. You brought a brisket. You brought maybe some slaw or
Some slaw.
maybe even like baked beans.
Yeah.
You brought, let's put it this way, you brought way more than you needed to bring. And the staff came in, and if you run a nice restaurant or even just like a thoughtful restaurant, you provide family meal. You do something nice. And we would do that from time to time. It wasn't every shift, but it was like maybe like weekends when we knew we had a full team. But you coordinated it with me. You're like, when are most people going to be there? I'm like, probably like Saturday afternoon. You're like, got it. And you showed up with like 6 sheet pans of food. And when I say this, folks, it's not like he ordered, like city barbecue. No offense, but I can tell offense taken. No, he made this, and he is damn good at what he does. And he just showed up with all of this, and the staff just went, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Yeah, the cupcake guy. He brought all this." They're like, "The cupcake guy made all this barbecue?" I'm like, "Yeah." And it was cool. And it was, even when Matt's son was born, you brought the brisket. Yeah.
Their whole family.
Oh, it's awesome. So you are a good guy to know.
Thank you.
And you are freaking amazing at what you do. So, which I've always been like, I know that Heather is the brains behind Bestow, but like, how are we going to get you to run your own barbecue joint? And the answer is always
Have a baby, open a business. So here's the thing, man.
never. That's what I was looking for. You never want to open.
No, I have no commercial aspirations, man. Because I think like it's a hobby, and if barbecue becomes commercial, what do I do for a hobby? I got to take up like golf or drink more heavily. That's not a good idea. So like, no, look, I think food is a tool to love people well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like a deep intimacy when you cook for a person, right? Because like this is what my affection for you tastes like. Like I'm gonna make you a thing.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think, especially for like the family meal thing, a lot of people are intimidated to take like food that they made to restaurateurs. Because you have this idea of someone that works like on a line, like, oh man, like every meal must be like this Michelin star thing. It's like, nah, man, I had like Crispix in a metal bowl over the sink for dinner because I pulled a 14-hour shift. It's like, nah, I'm gonna like make you a thing. Like every restaurant like aspires, I think, to taste like somebody's grandmother's kitchen. And so it's phenomenal for me to be able to like do that and scratch that. Like it'll never be commercial.
Oh, I saw Kyle was our chef at the time. Shout out Kyle Fletcher, great guy. And I like his wheels were turning as he was eating your food, and he was just like, "How could we do something like this here?" And I go, "Just let it go, man. Like we're not gonna do what Kyle's doing. Just enjoy it. Just let it pass through and swallow it into your gullet and just enjoy it. Cause yeah, we're not going to like slow cook. Cause we've talked about this too. It ended up working out totally fine. Cause we ended up getting somebody to, somebody thought they couldn't make it 2 bubbles and brisket this year, but then chaos was averted and they were fine and they made it. So everything was fine. But there was an hour of time of my life, the day before, where one of the people who shall remain nameless just cause, said, I can't make it. And I went, you can't make it? Like, I got some shit going on and I can't do it. And not that it would have totally mattered. I mean, we had nine people making brisket as opposed to 10, which is kind of what we advertised. I'm sure it would have been fine, but I wanted to get 10. And I called Kyle at like noon the Friday before the Saturday event. And I go, hey man, hey buddy, you doing well? Yeah, everything good in your life?
Not setting you up for anything here.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And I did ask if you could magically make enough brisket to service, 450 people tomorrow.
I can do it.
And then the thing that I appreciated was that you did let your analytical brain I saw it work in front of me, and you're like, okay, how many ounces are we doing? How many can we get? What timeline? Blah, blah. Hold on, let me do the math. And he like reverse engineered the whole thing. And he's like, to be honest, man, I need like 3 more hours. I need 3 more hours to make what you're asking of me to make it proper. If you ask me to do this, even if you got it to me in an hour, you got me all the product in an hour, which I'm at work right now, so that's not even realistic. But if you could, I still need like 3 more hours. And I'll go, yeah, it's okay. And then sure enough, like 30 minutes later, I heard back from the original guy and he was like, I'm fine, I can do it. I'm like, thanks for just making it a panic for me for a moment. But when you do your brisket, and I know, sorry, we're just like going off the rails now, just talking. But if you're still listening, listeners, we're an hour in, and Kyle. But when you do your brisket, home brisket, for one, what device are you smoking it off of? What do you typically use?
So, man, I use a Komodo Joe, just like it's a competitor to the Big Green Eggs.
Yeah.
Big, like
Komodo. That's what I use. Yeah, we're both.
That's right.
We're both fans of the Komodo. Yeah.
Right, man. I have commercial smokers, but for like solo, I use that more than anything else.
Yeah. For sure. I like it because you make your own fire and it feels much more primal. Like you're building your fire and it sits there and it holds for hours. As opposed to, no offense to all the pellet smokers, but like, come on, nerds. Like, really, I can't wrap my brain around a pellet. Like, I feel like a hamster if I say that I made this brisket off of pellets. It's like, it's just too much like, it's a genius idea. Like, oh, what if we just spit out very small amounts of like essentially kindling or firepower, like, periodically to just maintain the fire at a certain space. Sounds brilliant, but what sounds way sexier is I created this cauldron of fire and I can maintain it for 12 hours or 18 hours and do that. That's what the Komodo gets you, I think, when you do it that way.
Yeah. I definitely use a fan controller.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You told me about that.
100%. Because I want to not babysit a fire. I want to go to sleep. I want to be awake at my function the next day. But I think
which is, for those that don't understand, that's the very bottom of the Komodo is like a little open air duct, and it's a vent, and you put this little, it's almost like a computer fan, right?
It's exactly that.
Yeah, it's a little computer fan that has a servo that connects to your phone, and it regulates. It knows what temperature I guess it's got a thermostat that's connected to it, so it just knows. Like you want to keep it at 225, and if it starts dipping down, it breathes more fire into the cauldron. It's pretty dope.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I think fundamentally though, you get better barbecue off of a Komodo because the rub with a pellet is that a pellet it's just like sawdust compressed with its own natural oils, right? And so it burns incredibly clean. And so we get a clean burning fire, totally clean. It's flavorless.
Sure.
And so the smoke load on the pellet is very, very subtle. Even following kind of that same approach of just like fan and fire and air with wood and charcoal, you get in some places incomplete combustion, and that's what adds that smoky your smoke flavor to your food. That's my beef on the pizza thing too, right? Because I started on the uni. Wood fire thinking, okay, I want smoke notes in my pie. If I'm 900 on the stone I've got to be 14, 15 in the box.
Yeah.
It tastes like nothing. So there's no distinguishable difference between like propane fire and wood fire.
Yeah.
And it's already so hard to do a Neapolitan pie, man. It's like I gotta fire the pie. I gotta turn. I gotta monitor. I'm loading salt. I'm the whole thing. I'm launching.
Yeah.
And I gotta add wood. Just forget it. I'm propane all day.
I think the big difference to me, I have a friend in New Jersey, is my lifelong best friend. He's got, I don't know what it is, but it's a much bigger, a much taller oven. And I think my biggest complaint with the Uni or the Rock Box is that, your pizza is so close to the top of that, enclosed area. So like, any kind of sort of topping I put on there, I mean, if I'm doing a meat pie, if I'm doing pepperoni, prosciutto or something, I don't even put it on like to cook it. I take it out when it's ready, and then I put the meat on. Because
That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
because otherwise you can't. Yeah, otherwise
You're just gonna crisp up that prosciutto. That's not
even like basil. I can't even like you can't cook basil in there.
No.
So it's like that's my biggest. And the pesto on the pizza is fantastic, but that's really hard to cook too because that can't last more than 5 seconds in that type of heat. So what I do is I'll put ice cubes on just the dough, and then I'll cook that.
Say again. Sorry, you do what with the
I'll
dough?
take ice cubes. So I'll get my dough. I'll put it on the peel. I'll put a little bit of cheese, but I'll take some ice cubes, put it on just the dough, put that into the oven to sort of hold it down. Otherwise, it's just going to bubble up. So I'll put the ice cubes on there. Yeah. Put the ice cubes on there, like kind of, I don't want to say more than par bake it. I'll cook it like, maybe 85% of the way. Then I'll take it out. Then I'll put the pesto on, put the cheese on, put it back in there. At that point, I won't even take it back off the peel. I'll just leave it on the peel, let it sit for like 10 seconds, just enough to get the cheese a little bit melty, and then take it back out. Because otherwise the color of that pesto changes to this like,
Oh, sure.
yeah, like this like brown looking, and it's not as good, but but it's it's so good on the pizza, and then even like taking the crust and dipping it in that on like focaccia bread, on pasta. So I make for my neighbors, and they put it on like their hamburgers and stuff. It's
The idea of making pizza where we use cold ingredients to finish.
yeah.
For me, nothing is better than what I learned from Wolfgang Puck when I worked for him for 5.5 years in Los Angeles. And he makes the smoked salmon pizza. And so he does wood fire burning ovens as well. They weren't Neapolitan, but essentially, I mean, they're wood fire and
They're hot. Yeah.
they're hot as shit. Yeah. I think we were more like around 750, 800 degrees. But he would take his dough, he would throw very thinly, like razor thin sliced red onions and put it on top of the pizza. He'd brush it with some olive oil, throw it in the oven, little like sea salt, and he'd crisp it up kind of like what you're saying, kind of par bake-ish. No, actually, no, he would do it until it was crispy and ready to be done. Then he would take it out, and he already had sour cream, cream cheese, dill, onion, olive oil, salt, pepper, and red chili flakes all mixed up as a spread. And he'd layer that over on top and then thinly layer smoked salmon on top of all of it, top it with chives and maybe some cracked red pepper, and then just crisp, you chop it down and like the pieces are crispy. And it's essentially bagels and lox, but in a pizza, and then you put some unagi on top as well, a little like salmon roe, just to like really get there.
One of my favorite pizzas that I make is just prosciutto and ricotta cheese, and I love the ricotta cheese because same kind of concept. The pizza will be very hot. The prosciutto is sort of warm, and then I'll put the ricotta cheese on at the end, so you've got that creamy consistency. But it's like you put it on cold, but that pizza is so hot, it's sort of warming up, but it's not like melting. It's not hot. Same thing with like if you do like a burrata on it and you open up that burrata and it just sort of like oozes out. Like just something about that, like, I don't know, like lukewarm is the wrong way to describe the temperature of the ricotta cheese, but it's just, I don't know. It's so good. Like that's like my...
Gio, can we be friends, man?
We can. Yeah, absolutely.
You invite me over.
Absolutely.
You, me, Kyle, let's all...
Talking about pizza already.
We did. Yeah.
I'll bring the smoked salmon. I'll make if you got the oven going, I'll make the smoked salmon pizza for everybody. We're just sitting there talking about whatever. Let's talk about your dough. Are you using live active yeast? What do you use?
I use the Caputo. No, I don't make my own yeast. I don't use live active. I use Caputo's instant dry.
Sure. Okay. That's pretty solid too. I was taught, like, when I opened Crafton, I did hire a guy. He knows who he is. I won't say his name because he also bailed halfway through while we were working together. But he is very good at what he does and makes excellent pizza. And so he gave me a crash course on like what to do, and is super authentic. He also, from Jersey, knew a lot about like real good pizzas. And he's like, nah, man, we got to get the live active yeast. And at the time I was reading a lot of books about Neapolitan, but also just like straight up like New York, gas ovens and all that. And like, just like, I was trying to get like a marriage between all of it. I'm like, is there some way to kind of meld it all together and whatever? It's all about hydration and everything.
Right. Sure.
I did, lightning strikes every now and then. And I've said this before on the show, so I'm repeating myself, but I had written down in theory, like what I thought would be a proper recipe, just like from taking different ideas from like multiple recipes of other people. And I combined it to create like my own little Frankenstein version of a recipe. And then I just did it on a Monday when we were closed at Crafton. And I made it, like, took my time. And the first time I ever did it, it was flawless. It was exactly what I wanted. And I went, oh shit.
I did.
And like, did I just do this?
It's alive.
Now, granted, I had worked at Wolfgang for years. And so we were making dough all the time. And so it's not the first time I ever made it, but I was trying to make it different, and it just worked. And so from that point on, I mean, I have that recipe in my phone. It's like saved, like in the cloud, and it's legit. It's awesome. And it's best if it rests for 72 hours, like where like the yeast really like builds up and gets that like, delicious, like nuttiness.
Yeah. Kind of like a beer kind of funk.
Yeah.
Fermentation. Yeah.
And so at Crafton, a lot of people know, like if you had a pizza at Paseo, which was our little like small pizza joint, it was different than like stuff that you would normally get. And like we cared about, like we were making some edgy stuff. So anyhow, maybe I come over sometime. Maybe we make some pizzas together.
That'd be awesome.
Our neighborhoods are next door. We're also neighbors. So
Yeah.
Swing through. Have you seen Bobby's recipe, Bobby McFarland?
Well, which one? Because that motherfucker knows how to.
Okay, no,
he does a lot.
Where's dough?
No.
Okay. The McFarland family, little known fact, has a dough journal. Okay.
Oh, really?
Not even kidding.
Friend of the podcast, Bobby McFarland. He's been on many times. Yeah. Glass House
Kitchen.
First time he came on, he was at Royale as the young scrub with Jeff Sizer and all. But yeah, okay.
Now he's executive chef Bobby Mack. He's doing it well.
Yeah.
So we were at, I think maybe getting piggy with it. We were cooking at the festival together. And I was lamenting my struggles with pizza dough. And he's like, I just got to give you my recipe here. Take it. And he invites me to this Google Drive. And I'm thinking, okay, it's just like a recipe. No, it's his pizza dough journal from like the past 5 years. Okay.
He cares. I know. He cares about pizza a lot.
I've been doing phenomenal pies at Glass House.
Yeah.
Detail. Not just like the flour, but like all weight. Of course, he's a chef. All weights and grams, hand mixing versus stand mixing, varietals of olive oil, differences in salt brands. I mean, it's phenomenal. And granted, like you land on the one recipe he's chosen, but you get all these like real, and like it, again, I'm still like a solid B- at best at pizza, but mine got a lot. I went from like a D to a B with Bobby. I'll give it to you. It's Bobby Mack recipe. It's phenomenal.
Really? Okay.
Shout out Bobby.
I'm excited. Yeah. Well, anything Bobby does, he knows what he's doing.
I think you talk also about like, when are you going to get into your, commercial
Yep.
side. Yeah. And it's funny because I thought for a long time when I was making pizza, like this is what I think this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And, there's nothing that happened that convinced me it's not what I want to do. Mm-hmm. But I think I feel the same way where I truly love being home, making pizza. Right. Like for a long time, I was doing pizza Fridays, and my brother-in-law who lives the next town over, they'd come over every single Friday, and I'd make pizza every single Friday, and it was just so much fun. Mm-hmm. And then we would have neighbors come over, and we would do pizza on Friday, pizza on Saturday. We would have a party in the summer, and I would make pizza. And then enough people were saying like, this is really good pizza, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe it is, And then what I started doing is I was worried that people were just being overly nice. Because, if you invite someone to your house,
is it really good?
and you make them pizza, you make them anything from scratch,
Right.
Is it rude to be like, yeah, this kind of sucks, man? Like, I know you
I
spent
have friends that would not be afraid of telling you that it sucks, but yes.
but there's plenty of people that would just be like, oh, this is fantastic.
Right.
So what I wanted to do was like, okay, like if I am ever going to really do this, like I need to know if this is actually good. So, I live in a small neighborhood, but there are still people who I'm not friendly. Not that I'm not friendly with them. I just don't know them. We don't have, we have no reason why our paths cross. So I basically put out in like the Facebook group in my neighborhood, hey, I'm looking for honest feedback. Like if you want to try pizza, like let me know. These are the 5 pizzas I make. Let me know, I can make them on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. Let me know what you want and I'll give you a day when to come pick them up. And I did it for probably 20 people in my house. And you talk about a journal. I've had a note on my phone with the Smiths. They ordered these 4 pizzas and this was their feedback. And I have it just from everybody. And it was like, again, it was one of these things where I was like, okay, like maybe I could do this, but it's just not what I want to do. I don't think it's what I want to do. I just
flash forward to once you've retired and you now are going to run a pizza joint.
Perhaps.
Here's the thing, though. I think it's beautiful to obsess about a craft just for the pursuit of a thing, right? I think in this moment, there's this obsession with a side hustle culture, and we're cut from the same cloth that we have our main squeeze and then several side hustles.
Yep.
Very few people have hobbies. I want to do the best of this thing because it's fun to do.
Yeah. I think that's what I remember, I forget on what venue it was in, but Kevin O'Leary was saying that one of the things that he looks for in people he takes chances on is what are your hobbies? Because if you don't have a hobby and all you do is I just work, that hobby is that creative part of your brain, right? It's not you can work all day, but what are you passionate about outside of work? And I think maybe that's for me, for a long time, it was making pizza. And I just loved to make pizza. I loved on Thursday nights, I loved, mixing, doing the first rise of the yeast. And I, setting, waking up early to make sure I got it at 12 hours to fold it over. And, so just I really enjoy, I enjoy doing it. And I can't imagine, at least not now, being in a kitchen, a commercial kitchen,
right?
Even if it's my own place, I just can't imagine doing that.
I think to your point, it changes things, right? When that becomes the vocation.
Yes.
Okay, I'm doing the thing, but I've also signed to do it. I've got staff, I've got obligations.
It's not fun anymore.
I hit the mortgage this month. It's no,
and I want to make it though. I want to make the pizza dough.
Right.
I don't want to hire you and you guys are making the dough. I want to make the dough. I don't want to. I don't want to do the thing and then not do it anymore because now someone else is going to be doing it. So
100%.
That's Peyton Smith out there in
Winston-Salem.
Mission Pizza. He does it because he has to do it. He's compelled to do it, but he's turned his hobby into his passion and his way of making money.
Sure.
But he also is it's his way or the highway, and it's one way.
Right.
But he's so good at what he does.
Phenomenal.
But he's also just kind of I'll let other guys do the side dishes. His brother, I think, is on the line with him, and his brother made phenomenal octopus and did really cool stuff. But he's
Pasta, yeah.
I do the pizza, and that's what I do. And he's only open maybe 4 days out of the week or so.
Yeah.
And then he closes often so he can travel. And so it's you're lucky if you're there. But you know what? Fuck it. This is this guy's hobby that he turned into a profession, and he gives this to us, and we all get to enjoy it. And so if he wants to take a break or it's hard to get to, if you look at his reviews, people are like, oh, he's a pizza Nazi and he doesn't want to do this. And I'm yeah, because this is what this guy does.
Yeah.
You're used to mellow mushroom, right?
Right.
And Peyton is literally training the best chefs in the world when wanting the pizza, they come see him, right? Sean Brock wants to dip a toe in pizza. He comes and hangs out at Mission. He was just there a month ago, right? Cooking, but also learning because Peyton is at the top of his game.
Yeah.
Right. And so at that level, you can do it. But look, I think in any business, and this is true in Sidelines, true in Bestow, part of knowing who you're for is knowing also who you're not for.
Totally.
right? Like if you want the Kraft blue box mac and cheese pizza with a hot dog in the crust, like this is not for you.
Which also is pretty delicious. Let's be honest.
I mean, look, weed's legal in many places. I'm not here to judge. That's not what Peyton is doing, man. I think, man, I've done both the tasting menu and the pizza casa.
The omakase, yeah, the pizza casa, yeah.
It's next level, man. Banger of like fresh pasta too, man. He did like I would say it was like a mussel and crab, kind of like a seafood pasta.
Yeah.
In the middle of the tasting menu. And like the pizza was the least interesting thing about the menu, and the pizza was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like
the deep fried pizza?
I have done the deep fried
You've
pizza.
had that one.
Yeah.
He's okay. For those that don't know, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see kind of what I'm doing, but like he's got the deep fryer and he's got the pizza, which I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he par bakes it for a second just so it has some rigidity to it, right? So he can so it's not floppy, right? But he takes it and he's literally like rolling it in the deep fryer, but like he's got gloves on or something so that he can hold it. But he's like, it's like a wheel, like the pizza is a wheel that he's rolling in the deep fryer, half in, half out. And then he takes it out and it's now like crazy crispy. And then he does kind of what we were talking about, taking like fresh ingredients like arugula and burrata and
cuts it open, right? Does he cut it open?
Yeah, because it starts like
so that's like there's like pizza frita, which is like something like that where you literally just fry the pizza.
Yeah,
and you can serve it like that. Or I forget exactly what it's called. Panuzzo, maybe I forget the word, but it's sort of that where like you make this pizza and you can fry it, I guess, or put it in an oven, but it's almost more like like bread kind of dough, and then you bake it and then you cut it in half and then you stuff it with. I mean, arugula, prosciutto, the burrata, all kinds of stuff, and then you fold it back over. And instead of it being like a sandwich on like Italian bread, it's like a pizza dough sandwich. It's like, I mean, it's sounds like it could be one of those two things.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I may be wrong though. I don't want to.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what he was talking about, and I realized that I wrote myself like an essay on this whole experience, and I'm like looking at like, oh shit, where is it? Yeah, okay, celebrated. Blah, blah, blah. Never mind. There's no good information here. Sorry, that was a waste of time.
Wrath and everything was such a big build-up.
It was such a big build-up. No, but like I had it somewhere. But I mean, from my brain, I remember that he did Japanese pizza, which had some like seafood elements in it. He was doing some roe. He was doing like I think it was like seaweed of some sort. I don't know. It was Japanese. It was ridiculous. And then he did the pizza that was more of like a sandwich. That was the one that I was trying to come up with a name for it. But he took the pizza and then he put like fresh mortadella and cotto, thinly sliced prosciutto, and then he would like fold the pizza over itself, and he put it back in the oven for just 20 seconds just to crisp it up and then take it out. And then he just like hit like the knife right in the middle and just chopped it in half. And you had this like thinly layered stacked sandwich with like arugula and parm and provolone, whatever. It was
that's
like, not to be nasty, but like I'm getting aroused thinking about it right now. It's like, it was over the top. It was ridiculous. And on that note, gents,
that's a show.
And that's how we end a show real fast. Because now I've got to search I got to get on my private window, my incognito window, and search pizza pies. Kyle, any last words before we say goodbye today?
No, I have no profound. I thought we were done. I have no profound closing thoughts. Gio, thanks for making the time, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm happy that you brought this up as an idea, and Max, thanks so much for having us. I really appreciate it. If I could just, I know I don't think we talked too much about sort of the phase 2, but I can kind of sum it up maybe in a couple of minutes. But as I talked a little bit about the challenge to this business being cyclical or seasonal rather, what I would love to be able to do is find and think of some sort of a way to because I worry about closing in November and then losing a lot of steam, losing a lot of momentum, and then having every season having to sort of restart it. Even though every season is going to grow on the last season, you're still, when you're closed for 3 months or 2.5 months, it's tough to reopen. And this is not like the Amalfi Coast, where like they're closed and then they're going to be open again. But so yeah, the idea of that like I'm leaving soccer at 6:00 at night and like I don't have dinner and I don't want to go home and cook dinner and I don't want to stop at fast food on the way home. Like it's an opportunity, I think, for, restaurants, local restaurants that want to have almost like a second satellite location to the thought of like, okay, what are 5 or 6 dishes that I can sort of keep in my refrigerator and in my stand that you can buy and just take home and throw it in the oven for 20 minutes. Like, because right when you get home, the kids download all the stuff. You got to put away this, you got to put away that. You press the button in the oven, you set the timer of 20 minutes, you throw it in. 20 minutes later, everyone's ready to eat. Maybe they took a shower or something, and then now you've got dinner. No, I don't want to say you didn't do anything, but but you've got a good dinner, and it's not fast food. It's something good. So that's sort of like the idea is like as you're walking off the field, you just grab something, or you grab. Like we'll sell, we're planning on keeping a bunch of frozen tamales from Raleigh Tamales. And like, hey, maybe you're not going to have those tonight, but tomorrow night I've got tamales for dinner and I can, I can prepare for that, but I know I've got them, that sort of a thing. So that's sort of where we're going, like the bigger picture. And I think that's where, maybe there are opportunities to stay open longer and it becomes almost like a community kitchen is the wrong way to think of it, but something where it's sort of like, I know for this week, I've got food from X restaurant there and people can sort of order ahead and instead of having to go get it, it can just get delivered to the stand and we can have people there from...
Because as the parent, you're going to be there and you're going to kill a few hours. So you might as well be able to like take something with you.
Have like a parting gift in a way.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest edge is that, because obviously as my mind was wandering, thinking about this, I'm like, well, why couldn't they just order takeout or delivery or whatever? Like, and yes, you could,
of course.
But the idea is that this is right in front of you. It's right there. You don't have to go to the next place. You don't have to get on your phone.
You don't have to wait for it, right?
Yeah, like everyone hates
delivery fee,
buying things on phone and having to put your credit card in the thing and all that and whatever. So this is more accessible. It's like it's right there, and you can just grab it, go, boom, convenience, and like that's key.
Yeah, I think convenience is really what this is all about. I mean, there's community and that aspect of it, but I think, and in speaking to the Parks and Rec group at Holly Springs, even their interest in the vending machines, it was really about convenience, right? Like, what can we do to make the experience better when you're at the park? And whether it's buying a Hershey bar or whether it's, buying muffins and buying sweet potato donuts, and while you're watching the game, drinking a cup of coffee, like, those are things that are convenient and they are nice things to have in addition to what you're already doing. So I think that's what it's really all about.
I think it's a sharp idea, man. Like one that doesn't exist in our market anywhere. Like forget, concession stand, park, whatever, it's not a thing. Now, if I'm in Cary, I forget I'm blanking the name of the business. There's a big, taking big catering spot in the River Village near a Solly. And their whole model. They're a store.
Donovan's Dish.
Yeah, they're single.
Yeah, she kills it.
In brick and mortar?
Yeah, well, she has multiple locations.
That's true. The one,
and Donovan's Manor where you can get married.
I'd see. There's so much I don't know. But like the concept, you go in, it's a store of freezers, fridges, all with take and bake. And like, I think that appeals to like a different segment of the market than takeout, right? And like, why? You look like the psychology and the history of food. I like very early versions of box cakes were just add water. Okay. Add water, mix, bake.
You got a cake. Yeah.
Right? They flop. Okay. Why? Because the type of person that bakes a cake at home wants to feel like they're actually participating in the cooking process.
Yeah.
They updated it to just, add oil, add an egg, and their sales are like up and to the right. Okay. So I think the person that wants to do this, right? I think they want more than a thing I can pick up.
Sure.
Right? Because the bar is going to be higher on quality.
Yeah, for sure.
Feel like, it's not hopped up on, the whatever preservative Taco Bell was using to make quesadillas last for 8 hours. Like doesn't exist in Raleigh Tamales.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's a different segment, man. So I'm very bullish on the concept, man. I think it's got legs. I'm rooting for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So once again, so it's Sideline Snacks. It's out there in Holly Springs. Yeah. If I was a restaurant or somebody that had food products, like a food truck or anybody, like there's a lot of local people that rent kitchens out there, like at the Kitchen Archive and the Kitchen Space that have something that's delicious. So how could they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so they can either reach out on Instagram, where it's Sideline Snacks NC at Instagram or whatever. You know, I don't know. I don't know what that is, but it's at Sideline Snacks NC, or they can email sideline_snacks@gmail.com to reach out to me. But yeah, that's how they get us.
That's awesome. Well, gents, thank you. I'm looking at the time. We did about 90 minutes.
Here we go.
Yeah, we did all right.
Not surprised.
Right?
These three, yeah.
These three just chatting it up. Well, Gio, you've become my fast friend over here, and I appreciate it. I definitely could see how we all could get along and hang out. And by the way, this show could go 2 more hours. For sure. Well, no, mainly because I'm just killing time because the frickin' Raider game doesn't start until 10 o'clock tonight.
Priorities.
It's
West Coast.
We're recording on a Monday. This is going to come out on a Thursday. I don't know, and all of you already know the end of like what happens to this Raider game. So I'm either so happy or so sad at this point when you're listening to it. But the game starts at 10 p.m. and it's 8:32 right now as we're finishing this podcast, and I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm going to stay up for this whole thing. And like, the game's going to end at 1 a.m. Like, what the hell? But last time that the Raiders did a Monday night on a doubleheader, Terrell Pryor was the quarterback.
The name.
Yeah, Ohio State.
Yeah.
And he I don't say. He wasn't a bust. He had 1,000-yard receiving for the Browns. But he was the last player ever drafted by Al Davis, God rest your soul. And he had the longest run of any quarterback in the NFL. He for a touchdown. I think it's a 96-yard touchdown run that he did.
He was
he was a Raider and he was on the 4-yard line and he just broke a tackle and went, and the guy could move. So, but I remember that was on Monday night. And it was the same scenario. And I remember watching the game and it was like halftime and it's like midnight. And I'm like, and I had just moved to North Carolina. It was 2013, September. It was exactly just like now. And it was just happening. And I fell asleep. But I woke up in the morning and guess who won? Not us. It was the other team. But that was super sad. But anyhow, maybe things will be different. We're going against the Chargers. Who's your team, by the way?
Panthers.
Okay, you're the one fan from North Carolina that likes the Panthers.
I'm born here. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's what it is, man.
Sorry. And hold on. You could choose. There's 3 teams.
You're not going to guess it. So it's neither of the ones you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. Well, then hold on. Wait.
I don't do New York sports except for the Knicks.
Okay.
Aside from that.
You're a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
No.
No?
Steelers.
No. You're sort of in the region though. I mean, not.
Are you a Buffalo fan?
No.
That's New York.
Well, then I don't know. The Ravens? I don't know.
Yeah, Ravens.
Okay. All right.
I thought I was so the reason is because I thought I was Ray Lewis in high school playing football.
Well, you look just like him.
That's right. Yeah. And I get that a lot. Yeah. But I take a liking to teams when they beat New York sports teams. So when the Ravens beat the Giants in the Super Bowl in 2000, I think it was 2000. I think it was 2000. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2000.
I was like, all right, I'm sold. So I'm also I'm the only diehard Miami Marlins fan from day one.
Yeah, I didn't know that they had those.
And yeah, we do. Me and my middle son. We're the only 2 actually. So, but again, that got really strengthened when they beat the Yankees in 2003.
Yeah,
that was like my moment.
Wasn't that what was the picture that there's a movie they made about him, right? Like the old guy. There's a pitcher that played for the Marlins that was like old.
Charlie Huff? You talking about?
Is it Charlie Huff? Yeah, I don't know. There's a story about one of the pitchers that he shouldn't have, he was too old to play.
He was the Marlins. I think he was the Marlins opening day pitcher when they came out as an expansion team, but he was like 46 or something.
That's what I'm saying. He was like an old guy,
knuckleball,
and was really good and whatever. Anyhow, we've lost all of the people listening to us right now, so we're gonna say goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, watching. If you're even this far in. Then you're probably my mom. And actually, you're not even my mom. There's no way she would be listening at this point. You're just some weird kid that has nothing better to do.
Please come to the stand and I'll give you whatever you want for free.
Yeah. Hold on. Oh, that's the thing. If you've listened this far, think about it right now, Gio. think of a secret word right now. And if that person mentions that secret word at the very end of this podcast, they go to you and they say that word. Will you at least give them like a free...
I'll give them t-shirts, stickers, whatever.
Fine.
Whatever they want.
Yeah, okay, so
That word,
think about it. What is that word?
Juventus.
Juventus. So, okay, everybody, if you've stayed this long into the podcast and you want to get something free in Sideline Snacks, it's an Easter egg. Juventus. Say that to Gio, and you're going to get some swag. Oh, I love it. All right, with that, everybody, Juventus. I don't even know what that word means. All right. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the North Carolina Food and Beverage Podcast. By rating us online, you're helping others to discover our show. Follow us on all platforms at NCFB Pod.